What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Underdog Fantasy. It's like the happy half hour, if I could say so myself. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as you get in here. Happy to have you and happy to be talking Underdog Fantasy with my buddy Neil. This has become kind of a Friday morning staple for both of us here. Go follow him on Twitter at PlayerQDFS. Go follow me at Eric Lindquist if you're feeling sympathetic towards me, like, you know, you probably should. We got Jordan Klein behind the virtual glass as well. But Neil, how you doing this lovely morning?
I'm doing well. Just got off my second baseball show. Just started up the daily baseball shows. For the first two, I've been hosting with a guest. Now I'm going to be doing solo shows from now on, 6 days a week. So that's kind of a fun new development. I think I'm actually going to enjoy doing some solo shows. I mean, I love doing shows. I did it with Alex and Terry, so those are as good of guests as you can find for baseball shows. But I think solo shows will have kind of their own unique flavor, so that'll be kind of fun too. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Ready for the weekend. Got a nice hike in with my pup this morning. Just living the underdog life. So it's been good. Been doing some underdog drafts for the 4 majors. We have the Masters starting up next week. You guys want to be checking out some of the content I've been doing for Underdog with Ben Raza. It's been awesome. I love these drafts that they're doing. They have something called the Albatross. You can go find that in the golf lobby. $10 to go jump in that. It is just spectacular. The payout structure, 100K. You're playing 4 majors. It's a best ball style type draft. That's just a lot of fun. But we're of course talking NBA on this show today, so I'll keep that concise, keep that nice and clean. Per usual, if you've never checked out these shows before, what we're going to do is we're going to build a pick 'em card. So yes, we're doing all the players. We're going more or less, higher or lower on their projections for stat categories, for fantasy score, whatever it may be. We're going to have access to it there for every NBA game. And there are 13 of them on tap for today. So we're going to have no lack of options. That's for darn tootin'. But use promo code Stokastic, STOKASTIC. Double your first deposit up to $100. Good stuff going on over at Underdog Fantasy. But Neil, we're jumping into the pick'em format. I, of course, give you the honors because you are the honored analyst here in these streets. Who's your first pick'em play for the people?
Thank you for giving me the honors, because I get to do the easiest one, which is the Shade and Sharp prop line at 23 and a half points, taking the under there. To me, that's just very straightforward. It's a great matchup with Sacramento, but we have Shade and Sharp projected for 20.7 points tonight. But that's just, I mean, he's for the season, he's playing 21.4 minutes per game, averaging 8.9 points per game. Now, obviously, that's not entirely relevant, but it just kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, in 21 minutes, he's scoring 9 points. He's obviously going to have higher usage here, but he's not usually like, he's no Dame. I'll put it that way. We have him projected for 36 minutes tonight, so significant minutes. And we do have him projected for nearly 21 fantasy points. So we are expecting him to, be a high scorer here, but the line is at 23 and a half, and that's just a little bit too high. So I like taking the under on 23 and a half points for Shade and Sharp.
I think it is a definite good call there. He went completely nuclear last game. You know what I don't expect for a lot of players from Portland? To go nuclear going forward. There's also a big piece of news, I think, waiting in that game, especially for a guy like Shaden Sharp, who projects out well from a DFS perspective, but I want to be shorting because of the props. Trendon Watford's been upgraded to questionable. So seeing him questionable, it was an ankle that he had rolled. They're just short on bodies. I think Trendon Watford probably plays tonight. So I think that is a guy, he's probably the second best player for Portland right now, which is just egregious to say right now.
That's insane, but probably true.
Probably true. So Shaden Sharp under 23 and a half. If you're looking at it over at BetPro here at Stokastic, again, you can sign up for that in the video description box below as well. Go to stokastic.com, take advantage of it. But in NBA BetPro, it's highlighted yellow, and that is specifically because there is a tiny bit of injury news that is waiting in the wings there, but 59% expected win percentage. We're only looking for winners when it comes to this situation. And that's where I'm going to be going to Andrew Nembhard here. 6.5 assists has been his line. The very first time, the first roundabout we got where not TJ McConnell, but Tyrese Halliburton had been out for the Pacers. Andrew Nembhard was like that dude. He's a rookie out of Florida. He had been playing really, really well, and then just kind of hit a lull where Tyrese Halliburton was out. Then Tyrese Halliburton got back. We see very low usage, very low opportunity for him here. But we're coming off a game where he just saw 15 assists against Milwaukee in that losing effort. Every single game without Miles Turner out here, there is no defense being played by the Pacers, and it is up, up, up in pace. And something that I don't always cite when it comes to these kind of defensive things, but it stood out to me last night breaking down these games. Both Oklahoma City and Indiana in this pace spot play 14 or less seconds per possession. So they are top 4 in the NBA in that regard. In terms of pace, Oklahoma City second, 7th for Indiana. So it's a pace up spot for them. 6.5 assists is his line. We haven't projected with a 56% expected win percentage. That is really good stuff to get in on Andrew Nembhard. Plus, only saw 28 minutes last time. I think he's playing mid-30s if this game is competitive.
I like it. Let's go. Let's go with that Andrew Nembhard. So that's we're just at 2 with that pick.
Yeah, that's 2.
So, I mean, I think I want to go down all the way down to Nikola Vucevic here against Charlotte. It's a nice spot for him, but the line of 12.5 rebounds just a little bit too high for me for Vuce. I want to take the under on Vucevic rebounds. He tends to feast on smaller centers, but Charlotte's actually got, I mean, Mark Williams is 7-footer. I guess I don't know exactly how tall Nick Richards is, but they've got some bigs here in Charlotte to contend with Vooch. So I think he's not going to have an easy time on the boards. I also think it's only a 10-point spread, so it doesn't indicate like the highest probability of a blowout, but 10-point spread is not nothing. So I do think that there is a little bit of blowout risk. I think Vooch would be first man off the floor if Chicago does get up by 20 points in the fourth quarter. So I think that's just an additional little cookie there for Vucevic. I think I'm just gonna take that under on 12.5 rebounds. Line is just a little bit too high for Vooch, and then I think on top of that we have the added benefit of a potential blowout where he loses some run. He's averaging 11 rebounds per game, 11.1 rebounds per game this season. And if he gets to 11, that's fine. He can get to 12. He's still under 12.5. So sign me up for that.
Yep. Next up, we're going to Atlanta and Brooklyn. It seems like I'm just targeting all of these massive, these game environments with like 240 plus totals. And this is no exception. Atlanta playing 0 defense per usual. No DeAndre Hunter tonight for them, but Nicholas Claxton on the Brooklyn side, 24.5 PRA. I am in love with that today. And it's something that, I didn't talk about or didn't necessarily find last night, but today, it was something that really made sense to me. And there is a chance that Day'Ron Sharpe doesn't end up playing here. Now, he's been upgraded to probable, so he's probably going to be in, but he might be limited coming off of I believe it was an ankle injury that he had that he had sustained in the previous game. Apparently, he's just fine, so that's cool. But Nicholas Claxton, PRA 24.5 being the line. He's playing in a high-octane environment here. Again, bringing Atlanta to town, that's a plus. And then Brooklyn needs to just keep winning games in the East. I start paying attention right now to what are people playing for, and Brooklyn trying to secure some kind of a spot there in the outside of the playing game. They're 41-35, 6th in the East. They would have hosting both games of the play-in if it ended right now. They would be inside of the play-in game. They wouldn't have to be playing in the play-in. So it's a huge, huge game here for them. I think you let your best players play here. Barring foul trouble, I don't see how he doesn't go over this number.
Love it. All right, so we're at 4.
That's 4.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to go to 5 here. If we only like 4, man, I was looking at this Mitchell Robinson and gearing up for it, and then I remembered, oh yeah, Julius Randle is out for the next 2 weeks. So like,
sure is.
Mitchell Robinson 19, 20 minutes the past 2 games. I was going to take the under on the rebounds, but now I'm like, he could see a big minutes bump here with Julius Randle out. So I don't feel as confident. I was thinking about taking that under. I don't know if I'm confident enough to take an over on Mitchell Robinson on 9.5 rebounds. So it's probably a stay away from me. I was gearing up to give that as my answer, but I don't think I can do it with Julius Randle. I'm just not confident. I have no idea what to make of Mitchell Robinson's minutes and usage and rebounding rate without Julius Randle on the floor. So I think that's going to be a stay away from me. Do you see any other bets that you really love here that you want to make a 5 pick card, or should Should we just
I
leave
mean,
it at
it's
4?
13 game slate. You should be able to find something. The one thing that
Yeah.
I find fascinating, Domantas Sabonis, the over on 5.5, if you're looking at traditional books, is juiced at like minus 155. Now, the line is at 6 over on Underdog here today. So adjusting it, you need to hit 7. So it's a full assist and a half extra that you're looking for. But again, this Portland team is just so bad. They're Sacramento's 14-point favorites. They just blew the doors off of them in the first game that they played here. Now they're running it back here on Friday. Have fun, Portland. Enjoy that one. Now, Watford could get in there as well, so be paying attention to that news. But Domantas Sabonis, 6 assists. If you wanted to be hitting the over on that, we've got him projected near 7 there. The thing that makes me like a little bit nervous about it being my 5th favorite play is that like you're pushing in a lot of scenarios there, but considering it's close to the projection of 7, not necessarily the worst play to have as a last play in.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that as the last play in. I found, so speaking of Mitchell Robinson, I think I'd be more comfortable taking the over on 5.5 points for Mitchell Robinson. That one's just slightly lower odds than the other one. So 5.5 points. I mean, I know he doesn't do a whole ton offensively, but if he just gets the minutes, he should have some putback opportunities. He can, get a random dunk here or there. So I do think 5.5 points for Mitchell Robinson I could throw in as an alternative last pick in that I like our first 4 picks better, but I think that's another one we could consider there.
Yeah, absolutely love it. All right, so there's 5 for your pick 'em. Lots of great options. Again, 13 game slate, lots of news that's going to be dropping. Try to be reacting to it. When lines adjust, maybe find some lowers that might make some sense. That was something that worked out for the people the last couple of days, it would seem. Worked out well yesterday with everybody healthy, too, for Boston and Milwaukee. Good Lord, thanks for coming. Nice job. Good job, good effort from the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday. Now everybody questionable on that side of the Boston ball. So you could be looking at Derek White. You could be looking at Marcus Smart. All these dudes with just crazy props. If Jaylen Brown, questionable. Jason Tatum, questionable. Lots of opportunities there. And then smaller pieces of news that might not matter to playoff implications, but Trendon Watford, that is definitely something I've got my eye on. But we're heading over to Draft, baby. Fast Break Friday, $5, make you holla. Get over there, 50K in prizes over there. Amazing payout structure, really fun drafts. Neil and I feel like we've been getting the goods the last couple here. We've been running good in the news department. I don't think we've been burned by anything of late. Yeah. Although, if you put your rankings in, if somebody gets ruled out, you simply get the next player in terms of your rankings that wasn't drafted in your draft. So some ways that you're not going to take a 0 over on Underdog, that is good for everybody involved. So good job by them kind of cracking the code to make sure you don't get zeroed out of certain things. But Fast Break Friday, we're going for that top prize. So we're going to get aggressive. Anything that you really want to talk about on this 13 gamer before we dive in?
Do you have any strong take on whether SGA is going to play here?
I think he's playing basketball today.
You think he's
I have a very
Good.
strong take that SGA plays basketball.
I mean, if that's the case.
So Oklahoma City, I was talking about it last night a little bit. They need to win basketball games too. I was very surprised to see that he was going to get held out for a 4th straight game here. That Jalen Williams put back there, 38 and 39. They're 10th. They would be in the play-in game, which for OKC is a massive win of season. I was hoping Chet Holmgren would come back healthy at some point. This Les Frank injury sounds like it's going to keep him out the entire year, because even like 18 minutes of him off the bench would be awesome to watch. He was a top 3 pick out of Gonzaga for everybody. Minnesota boy, Neil Orfield. Minnesota boy,
I know.
Chet
He
Holmgren.
went to high school with Jalen Suggs. He actually,
sure
I know a guy who was a teacher at his high school, I believe.
Oh, we got the 1.1, baby. We got the 1.1.
Do we want to take the risk on Jokic? Let's see.
No, we want to take Embiid.
All right, we'll go Embiid number 101. So
yeah, I think you kind of have to, barely, don't you?
He's only our highest projected by Jokic is our highest projected by just 1 point. You throw in that injury risk. I think Embiid, it's close enough in projection, and there's no injury risk there. So I'm with you. Let's go Embiid.
Yeah. Also, look at the standings. Like this is something I just said. Denver's number 1 in the West. They have a 3-game cushion, 3.5 game cushion on Memphis right now. Denver's 51 and 24. Memphis is 48 and 28. Jamal Murray already said that they're not going to play him today, more than likely. He's uncertain for Friday coming into today. Doubt he plays basketball. Why would you even play Jokic here in a spot where you're already pretty big dogs to Phoenix with Kevin Durant?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I love the call. Let's just go with Embiid. Going to crush.
Yeah.
I said
And
there's no
they
injuries.
want to
That's
win
probably not
basketball
true.
games. That's for sure. They're third in the East right now. The East
Yeah.
is just stacked. You're not going to catch Milwaukee. Milwaukee's up by miles. But now you're looking at Boston, 52-24, trying to gun them down. They're again, we'll see. They'll probably be reacting to some news on how Philadelphia plays in that early window against Toronto. And yeah, it should be a more competitive game than other things we have on the board here.
So the reason I was asking about whether you think SGA plays this, as you can see, SGA is number 4 in our rankings, but he's going like way late in ADP. So
Yep.
the field is assuming SGA is out. We're going to be able to grab him. He has an ADP of
Yep.
35.
We're gonna grab him next.
You think I mean, we could probably wait like till at least like round 3, or I guess it's the turn. We are on the turn, but like if with an ADP of 35, we could probably wait till the second turn.
Do we want to just go like Jokic, SGA, just load up on the guys and hope they
All
all
the
play
studs.
basketball, and
Yes.
then you're just murdering?
Yeah. All right.
Somebody's
Jokic
going to
went.
have it.
We do have people. I have found that we often have people in chat who are in drafts with us. So that's the struggle of waiting to the second turn to get SGA.
Carlos Manzo, they don't seem like they want to make the play in. Yeah, they do at this point because they haven't tanked hard enough to really. And they have enough firsts. And again, Victor Wembanyama, if you're not going to be getting him there, you're playing for the play in now at this point. If you're Oklahoma City.
Ricky Lee
Plus,
says
they have a fun basketball
Kawhi.
team. Say that again.
Ricky Lee says you can grab Kawhi at the 3-4. I mean, we're going to be at the 2-3 turn, not the 3-4 turn. So
I didn't see the news. Did Kawhi go through shoot around this morning?
He did, I believe.
Okay.
As I recall. Yeah.
That's all I wanted to see. He was present at the morning shoot around. Yeah, he's playing basketball today. Then that's good. So nobody wants to take Kawhi. Nobody wants to take SGA.
Yeah. I think we can wait on SGA for the 3-4 turn, like potentially take that risk. Wait, we're coming up on the 2-3. So the 4-5 turn.
Yeah, I want Kawhi Trae Young. Trae Young is pretty stackable in terms of like Brooklyn pieces on the back end of it. Not that we're thinking about that necessarily, but like game environment correlation when you only have like 5 or 6 pieces that you're doing. It's not like an 8-person traditional fantasy lineup with a salary cap. Like we're talking how do we get the highest bang for our buck? Let's see, where are we at? Are we on the clock?
Oh, we are on the clock.
Do you think we can wait? Yeah, you like Kawhi?
I mean, ADP of 34.6. Like we haven't got any breaking news that would send his ADP up, right? So it'll still be well before his ADP if we take him on the next turn.
Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, let's go to our dude here. Let's go to Kawhi.
Kawhi and Ice Tray. What do you think?
So close. Flip a coin.
Yeah,
we're getting Kawhi. But we get the turn.
Yeah.
So now we take Trae Young. Now we take Trae Young and we just wait on SGA and maybe we get him later. But again, I am pretty positive he's playing basketball. I just hope somebody doesn't get timed out and that everybody thinks he's not playing basketball today and that they're not watching the show. These are a lot of watches. These are a lot of wants.
I would absolutely. The only reason I thought about maybe taking SGA on that turn is because we could have people watching the show who are also in the draft. He might go well ahead of ADP.
I mean, can SGA just fall? That would be just incredible.
Magical if he falls. Ooh, and Ant. We could take Ant.
Somebody just took Mobley before Mitchell. I'm confused. We are literally just looking for raw projection.
Yeah, there's no positions or anything.
Interesting. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. Oh, somebody just took Bridges over SGA. I'm telling you, SGA, you don't get a midday, it's midday if you're on the East Coast, so it makes sense, but you don't get a midday injury upgrade to questionable for a team with only 4 games left to play, unless you have intention of him playing basketball today.
Yeah. I like it. It's a great matchup with Indiana. I mean, we just have
what do we think about LBJ? I think LeBron James probably plays, but I'm not as confident with that one.
Yeah.
We've just seen so many times that he's had these bogus injury listing questionable tags, but coming off of an actual injury, it's got me a little bit more up in flux, but I still think he plays.
I mean, they're fighting for a playoff spot.
Oh my God, are we going to get SGA? Just keep going. The sweat is real here, Neil.
I mean, we should, right? Like ADP of 34.6. That's why we're going to be drafting what at 24, 25.
I've never worn a beanie on a show in my life, but it's cold here in LA.
Good
I'm
luck,
not
Beanie.
the warmest person. Well, it's a beautiful day now. We've had so much rain, it's crazy. But I might have to wear this beanie every day for the rest of my life if we end up getting SGA here.
Oh, he just went. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah. So he went 13 picks ahead of ADP. Apparently, Johnny Football is on the same page.
well, I hate my life.
That's brutal. An ant. I mean, ant. That's as right as ADP. That was unlikely. Well,
We were
we
two
could
away
go.
from the absolute nuts.
Yes, we were.
All right. So now we got to start game plan on what we want to do. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. makes some sense. Have him with Kawhi, just some
Yeah.
type of correlation there. I like Spencer Dinwiddie a lot. We get 2 picks back to back, so you can kind of do whatever you want here. Do we want to just go full on LAC Memphis and
Yeah.
go Westbrook and Jaren Jackson Jr.? Or
Love that.
I don't hate Cat.
I love
Cat in the
Cat.
middle of it.
Yeah.
Let's go Triple J and Cat. I
Yeah.
don't
We've already
expect
got.
Russell Westbrook to shoot 5 for 5 from 3 the rest of his
Yeah.
career. So just throwing it out there.
That was the final 5 for 5. That's probably true. He's probably not going to have a single game where he makes 5 or more threes without missing any the rest of his career.
However, I did enjoy watching him just put it in Dylan Brooks's face. Is there a
Always fun.
less likable player in the NBA than Dylan Brooks? Quack quack.
I don't really think there is. I can't think of. I mean, Jimmy Butler, but that's because I'm jaded as a Minnesota sports fan. We loved him so much, and then he ditched us. He didn't love
Well,
us. Didn't love us
to be
back.
fair, he was hard on Cat, and Cat wanted to cry about it.
Yeah, that is also true.
Just you got to be honest about what it is. I
chose
love
Cat
Cat,
Wiggins.
but also it's like the Kobe Bryant meme. Soft.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
little bit of that. All right, last pick, right? We've got the last pick of the draft, I'm assuming.
Final pick of the
because
draft.
we were 1-1, 1.1. Pretty sure 1 or 2 out of 6 knows about SGA news. $5 is pretty sharp, to be honest. Yeah, he went a lot later than I thought he was going to. I'm going to throw that out there. I would have taken him at the turn if I thought we were going to miss out on him. But again, Trae Young, Kawhi, it's not apocalyptic. There's still a path for it. Jalen Brunson, I think, is definitely, I mean, if he falls to us there, I think we snag him. 34.5 PRA, his line over at Underdog is in those streets. So like you just adjust that for fantasy purposes. Julius Randle being out, I mean, I get it. I get that it's Cleveland, but also Cleveland without Jared Allen, a little bit different defensively.
Carlos Manzo throws out Draymond Green as the least likable. Draymond Green, like I'm kind of like hot and cold, but like sometimes I really like his opinions. He says some things that I'm like, yeah, I agree with Draymond, and then other times I'm like, this guy's a douchebag. So I don't know. I don't feel as strongly about Draymond.
Very opinionated. That was like you answered that the way my dad would, which makes sense, I guess. Same South Dakota, Minnesota, same kind of deal. He's a Minnesota boy.
I'm just saying,
yeah.
I don't have the like Dylan Brooks. There is nothing about him that I love. Like there's nothing that I'm like, oh, he's a cool guy. He just says dumb things. Like Draymond is like a mixed bag for me. Like Charles Barkley. Like Charles Barkley, sometimes like this guy's a complete idiot, and then other times I'm like, I like Charles Barkley. Like Draymond sort of got that kind of feel to him, whereas
I mean, that's
Dylan Brooks,
yeah, Draymond Green's a TNT guy. I mean, it's kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, I guess they're just strong opinion guys that like sometimes I love their strong opinion, and sometimes I'm like, no, that's stupid.
All right, Dinwiddie. I don't even think we have to think twice
against
about
Atlanta.
it. We have Trae Young.
Sign me up for Dinwiddie against Atlanta.
Yeah, that's pretty clear cut and dry. Spencer Dinwiddie, welcome to the party. Bridges went like 15 players earlier. That's a little confusing to me, considering Dinwiddie. I project for more. Different lineup construction, I suppose, something of that nature. You don't ever want to be drafting strictly to ADP, that's for sure. You know me, but pretty good little basketball team we have going there. Joel Embiid, I think the most secure of the studs. Kawhi Leonard, Trae Young, Jaren Jackson Jr., Karl Anthony Towns, and rounding it out with Spencer Dinwiddie. I feel pretty good about the work that we did here again today.
My only regret, like if we could have just gotten SGA on that 3-4 4-5 turn, I would feel so good about our team. Like I think we drafted a nice team. But other people, I mean, as we see, the ADP is 35 on SGA. So the fact that some people have gotten SGA with that last pick is nuts to me. That's what we're competing with. So a little bit tough, but I do really like our draft.
What's the thought on Derek White and Brogdon as sixth pick over Dinwiddie and friends? Thought about it. I literally thought about it, but we already had Trae Young, so I think that there's some kind of an attachment where you take both point guards in a game with over a 240 total. I don't know what to make of JT Brown and Horford sitting because they're all questionable, but I expected them to be ruled as questionable coming into that game. If I had to guess, they're probably going to scoreboard watch for like at least the first quarter of that Phoenix game or of that Philadelphia game. Because if they can sit one of Brown or Tatum, they're going to sit one of Brown or Tatum. I'd be surprised if they sat both of them. Would you?
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I don't know. I haven't given it a ton of thought about whether I what I expect from Boston tonight. I kind of just wait for the news. So I think you're a little bit more preemptive because you do all your betting stuff where you need to have done that. But
well, you kind of
I
have
guess
to read
I don't have
tea
a strong.
leaves. That's
Yeah,
part of the game. I think
I know.
it's just you
DFS,
have
you
to
don't
kind of
really
make.
here and there. DFS, you do need to read the tea leaves too, but like not as much for betting as betting. I
Yeah,
don't think.
the nice thing about DFS today is that you have Portland, and Portland just is eternally underpriced with nobody there. So
Yeah,
you can just play Little, Watford, Sharp. You can get to more exposure of them. Knox is going to be one of the more popular players on the slate too, coming off of a start last game if Watford ends up being out. So you can play a lot of them, and then you just wait for the news and you turn them into Celtics. So
yeah,
from a DFS perspective, a lot easier than going into these $5 drafts. But that's where we just saw SGA go like 30th.
yeah. I mean, his ADP is 35th, just like that. That's broken. That's not that shouldn't he shouldn't be going 35th. Even if he is like 50-50 to play, he should be going like 10th maybe.
Yeah. So again, midday downgrade. It wasn't a midday downgrade. They didn't release the injury report. They're on a back-to-back. So Ricky, two different things. I love where your head's at though. The huge thing is when you have an injury report come out and then it changes with the next injury report on NBA.com, as opposed to the Celtics who hadn't released one because they played basketball yesterday in Milwaukee. So this was their first released injury report where they announced the news that everybody was going to be questionable. Robert Williams doubtful. So again, it's small things like that you don't really see being a big deal. But like for me, I would be shocked if they both sat. However, there are drafts that you might want to do. Again, for $5, jump in another draft, stack up with Smart, stack up with White, stack up with Brogdon, have exposure to these players that aren't on the injury report, cycle through them, put a Utah player maybe with it, and just have a game that shoots out. You're trying to finish first out of 11,000 players there, out of 11,000 total teams. That's a great path to do it.
Yeah, I love that.
All righty. Well, we did the Pick'em card. We did another $5 draft. Make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy, underdogfantasy.com. Download the app and use promo code Stokastic to double your first match. Yes, up to $100. So you put in 50, you'll get 50 from them as well. Put in 100, you'll get 100 and have $200 to be playing with over at Underdog. Such a fun site. And again, I'm doing a bunch of these albatross drafts, these $10 for the majors. Check that out. It is one of the coolest tournaments that I've seen in DFS in the fantasy space in a long time. But Neil Orfield, any final words for the people as we get out of here?
Yeah, check out High Stakes coming up with Brian Behrman, our coworker, Brian Behrman, coming out in 1 hour. High Stakes will be releasing, so make sure to check that out right here on the Stokastic channel.
Yep. Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Jordan Klein, there behind the virtual glass, clicking the buttons, doing all the things. So alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic out here on the West Coast. Let's go, baby. All righty. I'm going to go get some sunshine here quick. Maybe do some stretching, some running. I don't know. I'm wearing this. I don't know why this reflects so much. Who cares? We're going to get out of here. Thank you to Underdog. Thank you to Neil. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets tonight.